This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Friday, the 10th day of February in the year 2023. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. Scores of Parika vendors are counting their losses after an afternoon fire gutted a big section of the Parika market, completely destroying more than 50 stalls. Many of the vendors said they were unable to save anything as the fire quickly ripped through the market. It is suspected that the fire might have been ignited by welding work that was being done to a section of the market. Vendors and persons in the area said the fire service took more than 1 hour to respond. The closest fire station is located several miles away at Lenora. It was just after 3 o'clock this afternoon that an alarm was raised that the fire had engulfed the top of one of the stalls. Within minutes, the fire quickly spread to other stalls, forcing vendors to grab whatever they could and run to safety.
But we'll have to clarify later, confirm later, that there was welding going on in the building and that the sparks fell down onto flammable substances. That is what we understand so far as to why this has happened. But I want to caution you that we will want to confirm that. We have challenges still, though we have it under control now and from spreading in terms of getting it properly doused.
A 49-year-old vendor, Harry Ram Samlal, told news source that he and his wife have been vending at the Parika market for more than 12 years. He said he was alerted to the fire by his wife, and within minutes the fire moved to the area where his stalls were located. The couple and their workers were forced to run to safety, leaving everything behind.
We couldn't have saved nothing. Everything was on fire. 1 hour after the fire truck reached to Parika, and I went to him, I ran to the truck and begged them to come on this once and now a burn. They said they can't drive through the heat, and that caused all of us stalls to burn in the market.
So based on what you're seeing, how many stalls have been destroyed?
More than 20, 30, must more than 40 stalls, but 40 stalls full with goods.
The vendor said he's not sure how he will pick up the pieces since the stalls were the livelihoods for him and his wife and their workers, and also assisted in paying the fees for his daughter, who is studying abroad. The man became emotional as he recounted that all of his hard work went up in flames, and there was nothing that he could have done about it.
Oh yes, and my children too. I have to support my daughter overseas. She go to college, and I have to pay her fee. You know, I start business from 2 every morning to get the Supernam ferry. Go to at 5. So I have 5 single parent mother working with me at my shop also. So they also would be out of bread right now.
Another vendor, Roxanne Singh, told news source that she has been working in the market for more than 20 years. She said today was a devastating day for her, and she's lost as to how she will recover from the tragedy. The 57-year-old woman said the vendors who depended on the market to make a living will need lots of help to get back on their feet.
This afternoon, all I see 2 vendors running and we hear something. I'm pang, pang, pang. So I asked them, I said, what happened? They said, girl, I know. So I come out and I run to front. And when I run, I only run with my bag. And then I say, what? And then I see a big fire in front of the market. And by the time there's everything start burning, you couldn't save anything.
Other vendors were too distraught to talk, but have all been left in shock and disbelief. The Guyana Fire Service has launched a full investigation into the devastating afternoon fire, which has racked up hundreds of millions of dollars in losses and damages. More news in a moment.
It's been a long time coming. Overdue, some might say. But now that it's here, it will change life forever. And it is here to stay. The future is now. Transforming Guyana into the 21st century. Introducing GTT Fiber. Experience internet connectivity like never before. Speeds you deserve at prices you can afford from a name you can trust. Sign up today. GTT Fiber is here. GTT. Together, we rise faster.
Giftland Office Max, we're all about customer satisfaction. Whether it's clothing and shoes for the ladies, gents, and kids, or for the latest electronics or hardware appliance, we're always thinking of satisfying you, our dear customers. Now you can shop online at www.giftlandofficemax.com or visit us at the Giftland Mall, where we're happy to serve each and every one of you.
At the most critical life-changing moments, the National Insurance Scheme is here to ensure that your needs are covered. Access reimbursement for medical expenses for various aspects of your medical care. We know that eye care is of utmost importance. Receive assistance with our Spectacle Care voucher. Visiting the dentist? Dental care is also covered under our sickness benefit services. Offset the funeral expenses of a loved one with costs covered by our funeral benefits. National Insurance Scheme. We're there every step of the way.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
All members of the Teaching Service Commission have now been sworn in, paving the way for the Commission to begin its work. The remaining 2 members took the oath of office today. The members of the Commission are Maidia Prasad, Arvel Crawford, Dudmati Singh, Lancelot Baptiste, Jonan Monkhouse, Shafrian Baijan, Sathijai Sira Singh, and the Chief Education Officer Mohammed Saddam Hussein. The members will serve the Commission for 3 years. The chairperson, the deputy chair, and 1 other member will be full-time members of the Commission. The Commission, which is responsible for the appointment of teachers and the removal and exercise of disciplinary action over any person acting in such offices, was not appointed since the last one was appointed back in 2018. In brief remarks today, President Finale urged that members of the Commission to get to work to ensure the challenges facing the teachers are addressed.
But I want to congratulate you and wish you well on this journey as we seek to further strengthen our education system, as we seek to ensure we build a institutional environment in which our teachers are treated fairly, in which the process of governance continues to improve and deliver in a manner in which all can find acceptable standards and can find good governance.
The President underscored the importance of the Commission in ensuring that suitably qualified persons are appointed as teachers. When the life of the last Teaching Service Commission ended, only promotions of senior teachers up to the year 2020 was effected. Well, notwithstanding major development in the Stabroek block resulting in the discovery of recoverable resources amounting to more than 11 billion oil equivalent barrels, U.S. oil giant ExxonMobil remains resolute in its position that the 2016 production sharing agreement it signed with Guyana should not be altered to reflect a higher royalty for Guyana. On Thursday, President of ExxonMobil Guyana, Alastair Routledge, warned that any changes to the agreement could be destructive.
What is incredibly important for any country or any business is that there's stability. We've made now over $30 billion worth of investment commitment to the country based on the contract as it stands. To change the contract when you've already made that level of commitment would be very destructive to investor confidence in the Stabroek block, and I would suspect more widely
in 2022, of the 102 lifts of crude oil generated from Guyana's floating production, storage, and offloading vessels, 13 went to the government. And according to the Finance Minister, Dr. Ashley Singh, over $1 billion was injected into the country's natural resource fund from profit oil in 2022, and another $155.2 million in royalty payments from the Exxon company and its co-venturers. For some, the 2016 PSA has placed Guyana at the bitter end of the stick, and therefore it should be amended. But for ExxonMobil, Guyanese are benefiting significantly already from the deal.
Benefiting more than the investors. It's very clear under the Stabroek Block production sharing agreement that 50% of the profit goes to the country and 50% to the investors. But then in addition to that, there's a 2% royalty, which comes out of the, if you like, the contractor's share, the investor's share of the revenues from the block, the profit from the block. So 52, in essence, 52% goes to the country.
The ExxonMobil president said it is not unusual for an investor coming to develop a country's resources to give that country a bigger share of the revenue. He, however, said the exploration and development of oil resources in any country is a major investment, and that brings with it many risks. Rutledge pointed out that at the time the PSA was signed in 2016, the company had only made a single discovery in the Liza field, but the company took the risk nonetheless and invested hundreds of millions of US dollars.
So we accept a lot of risk when we do this. Some of those pay off, and Stabroek Block is a great example of where we have done well. We've discovered a lot, but the terms continue to incentivize investment, which is very important for the country.
And he also noted that developments in other blocks have not been as successful as the Stabroek Block. In the Stabroek Block, the company is producing more than 380,000 barrels of oil per day, utilizing the Liza Destiny and Liza Unity FPSOs. And with 3 additional FPSOs in the pipeline and the development of other oil fields, the company is hoping to produce as much as 1 million barrels of oil per day by 2027. But even with such major successes, the company is not prepared to agree to any higher royalty.
I mean, at the end of the day, if the projects are not getting any easier, so yes, we have line of sight to number 6. You see the costs in the world market are inflating. Number 7, we don't have full line of sight. We've mentioned the discovery in the Fangtooth area. We have a very active exploration and appraisal going on in that area. But it's a slightly different resource, a little bit deeper. We don't have the same surety yet that we can actually make it work. So it would be premature to even think about that sort of.
The government of Guyana has also not expressed any favor for negotiating the oil contract at this time. The government has said it is important to maintain the sanctity of the contract until its life ends. ExxonMobil Guyana, the lead operator in the Stabroek Block, has expressed an interest in bidding for additional oil blocks. But its president, Alastair Rutledge, said the terms of the new production sharing agreement will be among factors that will influence its final decision.
Well, we're always interested in new acreage, and clearly where we've had some success that brings a certain degree of interest, and we should be knowledgeable of it. We've registered for the bid round.
Rutledge made those disclosures on Thursday as he responded to questions posed by reporters during a press conference. ExxonMobil is the first and largest oil producer in Guyana and is the operator of the Stabroek, Kanji and Kaieteur blocks. With the oil giant already registered for the bidding round, which involves the auctioning of 14 other oil blocks, it is now in the process of analyzing the data provided by the government. Mr. Rutledge said the data, together with the final terms of the PSA, will influence ExxonMobil's decision.
We're awaiting the final terms for the new PSC. And when we have all of that together, then we'll be in a position to make a decision whether or not we bid or what we bid for.
According to Vice President Barbara Jagdeo, under the new model PSA, the profit will be split 50-50, as contained in the existing agreement. However, the royalty rate will be increased to 10% from the current 2%. Further, the new model will include a corporate tax of 10%, while the maximum cost oil for any given year will be 65%. Under the existing PSA, Exxon pays royalty of 2%, and the profit is split 50-50 between the company and its co-venturers in Guyana, once cost has been recovered.
Mobil 1 is more than oil. It's many oils. It transforms at the molecular level. When cold, it's thicker than honey. When hot, it's thinner than water. Mobil 1 adapts and readapts to last longer. 16,000 kilometers between oil changes. That's your engine evolved.
Sol Guyana is the authorized distributor of Mobil lubricants.
Combo pack up, we feeling best. Sunshine stacks above the rest. There is no contest, is the best mix, so we feeling best. Best value to how you're feeling. Cheesy, so much ripples and more
Anson Mini Mart is now open to serve your everyday wants and needs. Our experienced pharmacists will help you feel your best, ensuring you bring home everything you need. We guarantee you will come back for everything you want. Our team is friendly. Our shelves are stocked and ready. Hassle-free shopping for your busy life. Anson Mini Mart, everyday shopping made easy. From our home to yours. Anson Mini Mart is now open to serve you. Call 220-0505 or check out our Anson Guyana Facebook page for more details.
The Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, Anil Nandlal, also took the stand today at the Elections Commission of Inquiry. He testified that in the lead-up to the 2020 elections, the then Chief Election Officer Keith Lowenfield made a number of decisions that could have placed supporters of the PPP at a disadvantage on voting day. Mr. Nandlal served as an assistant party agent for the PP Civic, responsible for the east coast of Demerara from Industry to Cane Grove during the last elections. Putting the issue into some context, the Attorney General testified that the Elections Commission had long established a policy detailing the guidelines for the allocation of polling stations across the country. He said of importance, the Elections Commission had cautioned against the use of private residences as polling places, except for rare circumstances where a community or village may not have a public building available for use. Nandlal said although the East Coast was short on public buildings, the CEO took a decision to assign polling stations outside of many villages, thereby putting the supporters of the PPP at a disadvantage.
GCOM, by the location of some of these polling places and the way they structured or rather assign list of electors to these polling places, when we checked it on the ground, it translated into PPP stronghold areas being requested to come out of those villages and vote in other villages which are not traditionally considered to be PPP stronghold areas.
And did you and the party have a concern about that?
Certainly, because Guyana has an unfortunate but peculiar history of hostilities at election time between the two major political parties.
The Attorney General testified that the decision was of major concern for his party, the PPP. He noted that in central Georgetown, which is historically a stronghold for the People's National Congress reform, the then Chief Election Officer assigned polling places at private residences where there were more than enough buildings available.
In a comparison, Georgetown being the capital city, an urban center, obviously would have a large number and does have a large number of public buildings. Yet, I was able, and my other political colleagues were able to photograph many private residences being allocated or identified as polling places in Georgetown.
According to Nandlal, though the issue was brought to the attention of the Chief Election Officer on several occasions, it was only addressed 72 hours before the March 2nd elections.
In fact, I recall distinctly 72 hours before polling day, we were in certain communities in the night, that very evening, looking for spots, empty lots, to locate tents election day so that people can vote, because there was no private public buildings, and they maintained strenuously that they're not going to use private residences.
Earlier in his testimony, he told the Commission that though the no-confidence motion was successfully passed against the APNU-AFC in December of 2018, elections were not called until December of 2019, following a number of court cases. Let's tell you now that a Guyanese man who U.S. law enforcement authorities consider to be one of New York's bird smuggling kingpins has been sentenced to 1 year and 1 day in jail after he was busted and found guilty of smuggling birds into the U.S. from Guyana. The 62-year-old man Insaf Ali was arrested in 2018, then again in 2021 at the JFK airport while smuggling birds into the U.S. He is considered a serial bird smuggler. During his court case, he contended that his smuggling of the birds is not about the money, but more about the Guyanese culture and his love for the tawa birds, which carry a hefty price tag when sold in the U.S. Ali's attorney also played a video during his sentencing with some of his relatives and friends talking about the bird whistling culture in Guyana and the love for birds. The New York Daily News reported that prosecutors in the case said that Ali's love of the songbirds, which he sells to make a living, means he'll continue to break the law and keep running his smuggling operation.
Anson Mini Mart is now open to serve your everyday wants and needs. Our experienced pharmacists will help you feel your best, ensuring you bring home everything you need. We guarantee you will come back for everything you want. Our team is friendly. Our shelves are stocked and ready. Hassle-free shopping for your busy life. Anson Mini Mart, everyday shopping made easy. From our home to yours. Anson Mini Mart is now open to serve you. Call 220-0505 or check out our Anson Macal Guyana Facebook page for more details.
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor at the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up, fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up, protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guyana's Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guyana's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight, within a week, Barbadians should benefit from the savings of a second social compact between the government and the private sector. Barbados Nation reports that was disclosed yesterday by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Kerry Simmons, who brokered the deal among stakeholders. He said it is expected that the proposal, which was now over the cabinet, will be signed off within a week. In the meantime, business entities agreed to maintain the perimeters of the old compact, which expired last month. The new arrangement will be for a 6-month period on the same 47 items as the previous agreement. However, on this occasion, instead of the 12 to 15% markup across the board, distributors and manufacturers have agreed to a markup range of between 15% to 18% on dry goods and up to 20% on cold storage products as listed in the basket of goods. It was also agreed that the government will remove value-added tax on the items under the compact, which is being done to ensure Barbadians do not face that tough rise in the cost of living. In neighboring Venezuela, Venezuela's interim government led by Juan Guaido spent more than $198 million during the 3 years when they formed an opposition to President Nicolas Maduro's administration. That's according to a government presentation which was published yesterday. Guaido took over Venezuela's opposition in 2019 when he invoked the constitution to assume an interim presidency, garnering backing from the US and other governments who reject Maduro's 2018 re-election as fraudulent. Venezuela's opposition politicians voted to dissolve the interim government on the 5th of January and appointed 3 lawmakers, currently in exile in Spain and the US, to lead it, and also created a commission to protect the country's assets abroad. Guaido's government had appointed opposition administrative boards at State Oil Company, its U.S. subsidiary Citgo, and the Central Bank. Those boards present their management balance sheets each year. The opposition board of the Central Bank has managed an account at the New York Federal Reserve, which held an initial $341 million US. And finally tonight, international news. US President Joe Biden has said he does not believe the suspected Chinese spy balloon that flew over US airspace was a major security breach. Mr. Biden told news program Telemundo on Thursday that he does not regret how he handled the situation. The balloon was shot down over the Atlantic after it traveled across the US. Some lawmakers have criticized the president for not destroying it sooner. He said it's not a major breach, adding that it was a violation of international law. It's a U.S. airspace. He said the military was concerned that destroying the craft over land would have put people on the ground at risk. Speaking to the BBC, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said it would be difficult to say how the U.S. might handle another situation like that one. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight and this week. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.